What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Cosplay Chris, and today it is a wrap-up video for Supanova Sydney 2017. I'm covering all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I've created some notes here because we have a lot to get through. I don't want to forget anything or anyone. Memory of a goldfish, people. So let's start off on the Friday. Now, you guys know that I live in Oyster Bay in Sydney, and Supanova is at Sydney Olympic Park. So a bunch of us were staying at Laura's mum's house. Laura's mum, Lisa, was kind enough to let us have her house for the weekend, which is 10 minutes from the convention. So a very big thank you to Miss Lisa Gilbert for letting us crash there, because it was just so handy, and it was kind of like base camp for all of us. So let's do the roll call of who was in the house. Of course, you've got the lovely Miss Laura Gilbert, who was infamous Harley Quinn. Now, Laura did something very different this time around. She was doing Harley, but a diva Harley from Overwatch. Absolutely killed it, looked brilliant, she loved it. It was good to see her do something different. You know, she can move around, run about without having to worry about heels and sequence chafe. Next up, we got Josh, who is Melbourne City Batman. Now, Josh did his beautiful Batfleck on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, he did his fantastic looking new 52 Batman. I seriously don't know how Josh does it. He manages to last 8 or 9 hours in these suits, especially the Batfleck one, because he uses the same muscle suit that I had for my Batfleck suit. And honestly, after 10 minutes, you're ready to throw in the towel, or use the towel to mop up all the sweat. Next up, we have the beautiful Elise, who is Phoenix Ray on Instagram. She was doing her Wonder Woman on the Saturday and her Mira from Aquaman on the Sunday, which was nice to see her do something different, and it went down really well. Of course, she kills it as always as Wonder Woman, but to see it as Mira, that was brilliant. Next up, we have James, who is the Flash, and in my opinion, and not being biased, one of the best Flash cosplayers out there. On the Saturday, he did his Justice League Ezra Miller Flash. On the Sunday, he did his CW Flash. Next up, we got Lucas Pearson, the Badge. Lucas was opting to go for his Deathstroke armor, but he just wanted to do something different, and honestly, he made the right choice. He did Deadpool, the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, and this was from Costume Replicas Cave, and honestly, this is one of the best Deadpool suits I have ever seen based off Ryan Reynolds' suit. And Lucas filled it perfectly. He's got that stature, he has that presence, and he's a jokester, so this was just perfect for him. And the great thing about the mask is it works exactly like Ryan Reynolds' mask from the film. You can take the lenses out and switch them out for different expression. Next up, we have the beastly looking Sam, who is Super Sam Cosplay. He did an amazing Henry Cavill Superman on the Saturday, and on the Sunday he was Christopher Reeve Superman. Exactly what he did down in Melbourne. He kills it as Superman. That is all natural muscle, guys. No padding whatsoever. That is all Sam. The dude is a beast. Now, I also did mention that my good buddy Cameron was flying up from Tasmania, so he stayed at an Airbnb, but on the last night he stayed with us in Laura's mum's house. It was so good to finally meet him and have him hang out with all of us. He's part of the family. He just fit in so well. We all got along together. We all meshed well. And Cameron was cosplaying as Batman from Batman Beyond. And again, not being biased, this is one of the most aesthetically pleasing looking Batman Beyond cosplays I've ever seen. I remember Cam spent months on this, sending me multiple updates on every little change he did to the suit, just to make sure that, you know, from an outsider's point of view, it was looking good. And he just killed it. It looked brilliant. He even had a system where the cape folded out and then folded back in. Brilliant. So on the Friday morning, myself, Laura, Sam, and Lucas went to Laura's local gym to have a train. Laura and Sam trained back. Lucas and I trained chest and arms. I don't know, just we wanted to get a pump in, just get a workout in before the weekend, before we eat and drink a lot of crap. So on the Friday afternoon, we all went into Supanova because it started at 1 o'clock. It goes from 1 to 8 on the Friday. It's kind of like a preview day / night, I guess you could call it. Anyway, it's a lot more low-key, a lot more casual. We all just went in civilian clothes. I also had my custom collectibles to bring in. I had the TIE Fighter crash site, and I had the Steampunk R2-D2. And it was great. Like, it wasn't crowded. It was just nice, casual, nice to walk around, see all the vendors, see Artist Alley, see everything on display, see people's amazing work. So, of course, I went over to see my mate Rui at Ret Unit Inc., who had those amazing Pirate Batman fan arts for sale. I signed half the prints because I will be signing the remainder over the weekend in costume. And then we set up my custom collectibles at the Action Reaction Entertainment booth hosted by Sam and Cynthia. And on the Saturday and Sunday, Laura and I got to be involved with a performance for them, which was just freaking cool and an adrenaline rush. Okay, cut to the Saturday. Saturday, as you guys know, is usually the main attraction, the main day, the big event, the most crowded day of any convention. So on the Saturday, I cosplayed as Nathan Drake from Uncharted 3, and I was so happy with the end result of that cosplay, and I got such amazing feedback from some wonderful fans. So guys, thank you very much for that. Nice and easy to get around in. Amongst that, Laura's good friend Ellen rocked up. We had a good time. It was so good to see her again. Ellen's now based in Melbourne, so she popped up for the weekend. It was so good to see her as always. Now at 4:30 in the afternoon on the Saturday, I got to do an interview for NovaStream, and I'll leave the link down below for that. So a very big thank you to Alistair and Stephanie for setting that up. It was absolutely awesome. I had a great time, very interesting. Also with a special appearance from #MyBuddy Miles. Miles rocked up with his other half and his good mate Mark, and they were wandering around the convention floor. Miles had his hoodie on with a voice modulator just going around scaring people. Classic Miles. Now like I mentioned before, Laura and I got the opportunity to be involved in a performance with Action Reaction hosted by Sam and Cynthia. This is pretty much the same thing we did for the Injustice 2 game launch. My part was I was controlling a PS4 controller that was eventually going to be controlling Sam and all these crews. So we've got Nightwing, Wonder Woman played by Cynthia. So it's a really cool concept, and of course they're doing their amazing stunts and fight choreography. I'm just standing off on the side with a controller just watching in awe of how these guys managed to do these flips and all these amazing moves in these like really confined suits. Now I just want to give a very big shout out to a gentleman by the name of Billy. I met Billy on the Saturday. He was dressed as the Phantom with these really wicked looking white contact lenses in, and it got to the point where halfway through talking to him, I'm like, why is this guy constantly looking this way or like looking up? And then I realized he had white contact lenses in. And then Billy goes, I've got some stuff for you. So Billy gave me this sick looking reproduction of a retro Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger figure. He also gave me The Last of Us on PS4, because as everyone knows, I have not played The Last of Us yet. I have now officially started it. And when I opened it, there was a beautiful letter from him and also a voucher for Pet Barn. Pet Barn is like our big pet store chain within Australia, and that was for my mum and dad for all the amazing work they do with animals and aged care facilities. So Billy, thank you so much for that, my friend. That was very sweet of you. I was very chuffed by that. Now, cut to the Sunday. Usually Sunday is a lot more low-key, but it wasn't. Why? Because Chris Hemsworth was there. So we rocked up. We got to the front entrance, and the queue for the Q&A panel with Hemsworth was massive. The good thing about that is, when everyone goes into that hall, you've got about half an hour of quiet time, and you've got a lot of room to run around, so it was great. Dressed as Pirate Batman for the Sunday, and I went all out, did the full silicone prosthetic, everything, because I didn't have to cart it down to Melbourne or anything. It was just, 40 minutes down the road from my house, so I was able to take my scales to weigh the silicone, mixing cups, mixing spoons, the flesh tin, everything. Pirate Batman went down a treat, and I got some amazing photos from some amazing photographers, including these 6 shots from Nathan Atkins, who's Nathan Atkins Photos. We went around the corner to where this roller door was. This is pretty much where he was setting up all the cosplayers to take photos of, and the guy just does quality work. Now I was greeted by a gentleman named Josh when we got to the front entrance, who is a fan, and here's a photo of us together with some wicked fan art, and here's the fan art right here, guys. Josh, thank you so much for that, man. Josh also wrote a lovely letter with a Crash Bandicoot drawing, which is just absolutely spot on and just captures the characters perfectly. And I also got a lovely surprise. My mate Ben rocked up with his other half, Tara. Ben was dressed as Winter Soldier. Tara was dressed as Marty McFly. Ben did a lot of work with his Winter Soldier outfit, especially that arm. That arm is the most legit and organic looking thing I've ever seen. It just moves perfectly. I'm not gonna lie, by the end of Sunday, I was exhausted, especially having that white blind contact lens in, because essentially you're blind, so your peripherals are next to nothing, being in that cowl alone as it is, but to have one eye completely blocked, it just throws your senses right off. Your brain is trying to, recalibrate how it's gonna see just out of one eye, especially in a crowd. It's quite daunting. And literally 5 minutes before Supanova was due to close, we're all gathered at the Action Reaction entertainment booth, just kind of conversing, and we're just gonna round everyone up and then head out the door. And I got Cynthia to get me some hand wipes so I could take the contact lens out, because my fingers were kind of grubby and grimy from the makeup and everything. So gave my fingers a wipe, pulled the contact lens out, and no joke, for about 10 or 15 minutes, my eyesight was like that, flickering, like trying to realign. So my brain is just hit reset or Control Alt Delete, and it's just trying to realign my eyesight. It was really weird and unsettling. And of course, I couldn't go without getting a photo of my buddy Andy, who is Thor of Oz, who is the most legit looking Thor I've ever seen. And of course, he got a photo with Chris Hemsworth. That is like destiny. Like, this had to happen. Those two getting a photo. So I was really happy for him. And we got a cool photo here of me as Pirate Batman holding the hammer. I am worthy. So guys, that is pretty much it. It was a fantastic weekend, to say the least. I'm still trying to get back into a routine and a rhythm. It's Friday. The convention was last weekend, so I'm trying to get back into a rhythm, work on orders, work on the Red Hood cosplay, which, by the way, thank you so much for that overwhelming response from that previous video. So I will have an update video next week on the Red Hood cosplay, because I've got the final designs for the helmet from Rui that I've forwarded on to Stevie D in the UK to be rendered. The final look at the belt, which is now available for sale on my Etsy store. I figured I'd throw 10 up there for sale. It's got a spaced area on either side for the drop holsters for the guns, so if you want, check that out. I will leave the link down below. A very big thank you to the beautiful Miss Laura Gilbert for hosting, and Lisa Gilbert for giving us her house for the weekend and organizing everything, my amazing DC crew, my buddy Cameron. It was so good to finally meet you, man. This is the first of many adventures we're all gonna have together. To each and every one of you that came up, said hello, had a chat, thank you so much, guys. You're the absolute salts of the earth, genuine people. Just wish I had more time to talk longer to you guys and just talk shop. Or shit. Either one. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Like I said, I will have a video update next week for the Red Hood cosplay. So excited about that one. I have officially bought the chest emblem and the eye mask off Tiger Stone Effects. As for the neck piece, that is also a Tiger Stone Effects neck piece. I'm actually going to be doing a trade with Cam for that. He used it for his Batman Beyond. He's eventually going to upgrade to something else. I said, dude, I'll take it. That is the exact neck piece that I need. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend wherever you are in the world. Be happy, be merry, be silly, and until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.